There are stories told by the firelight, stories whispered to children so they never wander near the rivers at night. But what few know is that these stories are real. She lives beneath the waters, beautiful as a dream, deadly as a storm. This is the story of Mami Wata, the goddess of the depth whom people worship, fear, and never betray. Once upon a time in a remote land of West Africa, there was a village nestled by the banks of a sacred river. This river, they said, whispered the secrets of the world. It was not just water, it was alive. It breathed, and it listened. Among the villagers lived a young girl named Yenny. She was different. Her gaze often wandered beyond the horizon, and her heart felt too vast for her age. People called her strange, dreamy, or touched by the spirits. But none knew her truth. Since she was 7, Yenny had heard a voice in the current, a woman's voice, hypnotic, the voice of Mami Wata, goddess of the waters, half spirit, half woman. She could offer wealth, beauty, love, but never for free. On the day the elders tried to force Yenny into marriage, she ran. She ran until her feet were raw, until her tears mixed with the mud at the river's edge. And then, the voice returned. Yenny, do you want to be free? Do you want them to hear you? To finally listen? The current shimmered like glass. Something ancient moved beneath. Without thinking, Yenny whispered, yes. The wind stopped, the water stilled, and in that moment, the pact was sealed. Yenny's feet touched the river, and the world shifted. She sank not like a drowning girl, but like someone being called home. The water wrapped around her gently, like hands guiding her deeper, deeper, until the sunlight above vanished completely. Below, she opened her eyes and saw a kingdom, a world reversed. Coral palaces rose like ancient temples. Seaweed drums pulsed with rhythm. Fish swam in spirals, whispering in languages older than man. And at the heart of it all, she appeared. Mami Wata, more radiant than any queen, more terrifying than any storm. Her skin shimmered like moonlit water. Her eyes held galaxies. Golden jewelry adorned her arms and ankles, and around her neck, a snake coiled like a living necklace, blinking slowly. Yenny fell to her knees, overwhelmed. Mami Wata stepped forward, her voice echoing from all directions. You have answered my call, child of Earth. Now choose your path. You are not here by chance. With a wave of her hand, the goddess summoned 3 glowing orbs. Each one pulsed with power. Each one offered something and demanded something in return. Mami Wata's voice grew quieter, yet sharper. Only one may be yours, and once chosen, you cannot go back. Yenny's eyes widened. Her journey had begun. Before Yenny floated 3 gifts. They hovered above the water, glowing with ancient light, each one pulsing like a heartbeat. And as she looked at them, their names echoed in her mind as if Mami Wata were speaking directly into her soul. The first gift, the golden voice, a conch shell, translucent and humming softly. With this gift, whispered the goddess, your voice will command hearts. Kings will kneel, crowds will follow. No one will forget the words you speak. But behind the shell's shimmer, Yenny glimpsed something, a mouth sewn shut, a woman screaming without sound. The second gift, the bracelet of abundance, a golden bracelet wrapped in strands of seaweed and pearls, glowing like a sun. With this, said Mami Wata, you will never hunger. Gold will fall into your hands. Every door will open to you. But as it spun before her eyes, Yenny saw another image. Villagers bowing, not in respect, but in fear. Hands grabbing at her, her smile fake, her soul hollow. The third gift, the bound heart, a crystal sphere. Inside it, a glowing red heart, beating gently. This, the goddess said, is true love, the kind found once in a lifetime. But it will always be in danger. Always. Yenny saw it, a man standing by her side, and behind him, a shadow ready to strike. The choice was hers. Each gift, a blessing. Each one, a curse. Yenny trembled. She reached out slowly, toward the conch. "I want my voice," she whispered. "Not just to speak, to be heard, truly heard." The conch vanished into her chest. Her throat glowed, and Mami Wata smiled. "So be it." Yenny returned from the river, changed. Her voice no longer sounded like a child's. It was deep, rich, and wrapped in something divine. When she spoke, even the birds stopped singing. The wind paused. People listened. She spoke of justice, and the village elders lowered their heads. She sang of unity, and rivals embraced. She whispered stories, and children dreamed in colors. Soon word spread beyond her village. Other towns sent emissaries. Kings sent messengers. Travelers came just to hear her speak, even if only once. She had become a legend, the girl from the river, the voice of the goddess. And yet, something inside her grew heavier. She couldn't sleep. At night, her voice echoed back at her from the trees, louder than before. Sometimes she dreamed of drowning in her own words. One day, as her fame grew, a man appeared, Kojo. He wasn't a king or a priest or a merchant. He was just a hunter, quiet, steady, kind. He didn't come to hear her voice. He came to see her. They sat by the river, in silence, day after day, and slowly. Yenny's heart softened. She laughed again. She let the conch's glow fade for a while. She sang only for him, but deep beneath the river, Mami Wata stirred. She had given a gift, and all gifts have a price. "You chose your voice," her voice whispered in Yenny's mind. "Not love." Then one night, Kojo vanished. No tracks, no trace, just the wind carrying one last echo of Yenny's laughter, fading into the current. Yenny screamed into the night, but this time her voice was empty. She realized then, her debt was not paid, and the goddess was not finished. Yenny stood once again at the edge of the river. No fear this time, no tears, only silence, the kind that lives before a storm. She stepped forward. The water opened for her, as if remembering her, as if welcoming her back. And just like before, she sank deeper than ever. This time the world beneath had changed. The coral palaces were cracked. The drums had gone quiet. The fish swam in strange patterns, their eyes dim. In the center of the ruins stood Mami Wata, unchanged, radiant, and terrible. "You came back," she said, "but you came with anger." Yenny clenched her fists. "Where is Kojo?" The goddess raised a hand, and a mirror of water formed between them. Inside, Yenny saw herself, not once but many times, laughing, crying, screaming, raging. Her voice had echoed too far. It had shaken too much. "You asked for power," said Mami Wata, "but you never asked what it would cost." Then, behind the mirrors, she saw him, Kojo, trapped, suspended in the current, still breathing, but fading. Yenna fell to her knees. "Take my voice," she whispered. "Take everything. Just let him go." The goddess stared at her. For the first time, there was sorrow in her eyes. Once given, a gift cannot be taken, but it can be surrendered. Yenna stood. She sang, one last time. No words, just sound. Pure, painful, beautiful. The waters trembled. The ruins shook. The mirrors shattered. Kojo fell to the ground, free, and Yenny fell silent, forever. They say she never spoke again. But sometimes at night when the river is calm, children say they hear a song, a melody with no words, a song that heals, a song that warns, a song that remembers, the song of Yenny.